Jeff, we finally get in the front of traffic, but the lights still won't turn green. We're going to be late for our appointment.
Well, I don't want to be late for our appointment no matter what, so, it'd be nice if we had a little bit more information about the traffic system in Fort Collins.
Yeah. Hey, hi, I'm Ann Loader.
And I'm Jeff Groves.
Welcome to this month's edition of Police Beat. This month, we're going to go check on traffic engineering and find out what these lights are all about. Come join us. Jeff, it gets really aggravating when I'm on duty, I'm off duty in my personal car running errands, and you get at a light, and it seems like it takes forever for it to change so I can turn or whatever. How is this all controlled in this town? I think you know who it is.
I do, and maybe we should go and talk to him and see if he can explain to us how all this, how all the lights are controlled here in Fort Collins and what system they have to do that, and answer some of our other questions too.
I think it's a great idea.
Eric, are you in here?
I am.
With us this month is Eric Brackey, who's the traffic engineer for the City of Fort Collins and also in charge of all traffic operations and maintenance here in the City of Fort Collins. Eric, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Well, we got some questions to ask you if you don't mind. And one of them is, what exactly controls all the lights in the City of Fort Collins, all the traffic signal lights all over town?
The traffic signals are controlled through this computer, and these two computers right here. We have the capability of controlling 256.
And how many do we have now?
We currently have 130 intersections that are online. They're all connected to this computer through phone lines. If you include the signals, the pedestrian signals, and the school flashers and the police flashers, it's up to about 175.
Well, can you show us a little bit about what you're looking at here, Eric, this screen right here?
On this screen right here, we have the intersection of College and Horsetooth, and this is a diagram of what's actually happening on the street as we speak. At this moment, for example, we can see that there are green balls for the north and the southbound, and everything else around it is red. The vehicle detectors are showing us how many cars are getting called at the particular intersection at that time.
So, Eric, I'm not going to pick on you or anything, but one of the common questions asked of me when I'm out on the street, some of the public wants to know, are the lights synchronized in Fort Collins?
Yes, they are synchronized. We run various patterns throughout the day. We run AM in the morning, we run a certain pattern, and at noon we run patterns, evening, and then also we're working on some weekend patterns. It is a very long task to synchronize 130 traffic signals for different patterns throughout the day. The traffic flow has changed so much. We've recently gone out and we've counted every signalized intersection for all the peak hours, and we're in the process of redoing that.
So, Ann, while we have the chief cook and bottle washer here of the whole traffic operations,
Yes.
I want to ask Eric if you can explain to us the process for setting speed limits here in Fort Collins. A lot of people say, well, we have speed limit of 35, and then it's down to 30, and then it's back up to 35 again. And could you just outline a little bit of the process that you go through in setting speed limits and what's going to happen for the future?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Right now, we are in we have a current project going on where we are reevaluating all of the speed limits on the arterials. We found that some of them are probably unreasonable. What we generally do is we go out and we do speed studies along all the arterials and all the different sections of the arterials and find out what are people driving now. There is the presumption that people are driving what is safe and reasonable to begin with, and that's generally the speed that we start at. Then we take a look at how many driveways, what are the pedestrian counts, what are the other roadside friction factors that are part of that, and then start scaling down a little bit. Right now, we would anticipate that many of the arterials that are currently posted 35 may go to 40. It is unlikely that any of the speeds would be going down. There are some areas, such as in the hospital area, where there is tremendous amount of bicycle pedestrian activity, that we wouldn't change that from 30 to 35 regardless of what people are driving because of the friction factors that are along there. But then again, we have areas of, let's say, on Horsetooth between College and Shields, where there's no property access, only a couple of signals, medians, and it's posted 35. And it's very unreasonable to assume people will drive 35 on here. So that's one that will probably go to 40. And so we are looking at all that, and they should see those speed limit changes probably around the 1st of December.
Okay. Eric, thank you for being with us.
My pleasure.
Hey, Jeff, come over here. I found some disco stuff. YMCA.
I don't think that's what we're looking at, is it,
Oh.
Dan?
No, it's not.
Well, why don't you tell us, first of all, where are we?
Okay, we're in the traffic offices where we do our maintenance on all the traffic signal equipment.
Okay.
And this is a test board that's showing, we're testing this controller cabinet, which is similar to all the stuff that's in the street that runs all the red, yellow, and green lights out in town.
So what is the board actually showing us right now?
It's showing right now that it's in flash, and you may have seen some of that sometimes. Either some of the intersections at night we put into flash, some of them that may malfunction or have a problem, they go to flash. And it's just a safety device so that try to prevent any accidents or any problems.
So when you buy a new traffic signal, they're going to put one in at, well, eventually one's going to go in at Constitution and Drake.
Uh-huh.
And you buy one of these babies right here, which is what controls it, correct?
Yes.
And we're going to see that in operation in just a few minutes.
Mhm.
How much does one of these babies cost?
Well, the controller cabinet, which is the white box you're looking at here, runs around $5,500. And that includes all the stuff, peripheral stuff, that run the signal, except for the controller and the conflict monitor. The controllers run around $3,000, and the monitor runs around $1,200. So totally, we're looking at about $9,000 just for the control equipment that controls each intersection.
So when we get right down to the bottom level, to put a new intersection on the system with a traffic signal light, controller box and everything, what are we talking?
We're doing them for, depends on how large it is and how large the poles need to be. The average intersection that the City of Fort Collins forces that we do ourselves, our own construction, is running around $45,000 to $50,000 per intersection.
Wow, I
That
had no
includes the
idea.
conduit and the poles and all the lights in this controller box.
So when you buy one of these things new, you just don't put it right out in the street.
No, they all come into this shop right here, and we test them. The controllers are tested at least 100 hours, and the box is usually about the same time.
So Dan, with all of this in mind, can we go out to an intersection like Prospect and Shields, and so you can show us how this all works?
Sure, let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
So Dan, we saw one of these inside over at Traffic Engineering. Why don't you tell us what's going on here and what's all operating?
Okay, we can sure do that. The black box you see up here is the same as we saw in the shop, and it's the traffic signal controller. It controls the red, yellow, and green lights for all the movements on the street. This box right here is a safety monitor. By some chance, if the traffic controller sends out some conflicting signals, let's say a couple greens that would cause an accident, this device here, this safety monitor, will pick that up and it will put the intersection into flash like we showed in the office.
Oh, I see.
All these boxes down here are vehicle detection. So like we have loops that we talked about that are out in the street, and when a vehicle passes over those loops, these little amplifiers pick up that vehicle and send that information to the controller, so the controller knows that there's a car waiting there, so it can serve the light so the demand is satisfied. Okay? One other thing that's in most of our cabinets is Opticon. I don't know if we talked about that a little bit, but Opticon is a preemption device that the fire trucks use. So if a fire truck's coming down the roadway and the light's red for him and the traffic is all stacked up, he has a strobe light on his vehicle, and this picks that up, and it sends the information to the controller, and the controller says, oh, I need to give that lane of traffic a green light so the fire truck can move on through without delay.
Dan, we also have a lot of signs in this city, and you are also in charge of the signs. What happens if a citizen sees a sign that is faded or falling apart or missing? What do they do?
There's two things they can do. If it's after hours, after 5 o'clock, and before 7 o'clock in the morning, they can call police dispatch. And we have a person that's on call that can replace that sign or get it out of the roadway if it's been run over or fallen down, and that can be picked up and the temporary can be put back. If it's during the workday, they can call the street department, and which traffic operations is in that building, and the sign department will send a person out to replace the sign or fix it, whatever needs be.
What is that phone number that they can call to report that during working hours?
It's 221-6615 is that number at the...
Great. Well, Dan, thanks a lot
Okay.
for answering all our questions. I
You're
know we
welcome.
didn't cover a lot of things, but that's very interesting.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I love this. It's Shop Till You Drop for Santa Cops. Hey, Jeff, help me out.
Okay.
And look at who we have here. We have the president of Santa Cops, Dawn True.
Hi, Ann. How you doing today?
All right.
Glad to see you out here shopping for me.
You betcha. I'm in full gear.
All right.
Hey, I hear it's the 10-year anniversary for Santa Cops.
This is it. Big 10 years. Organization's been going for this long, and we're ready for another year, I guess.
And you're looking for more support this year?
More support. We've had wonderful support in the past, and we're looking for the same support again this year.
So what can the citizens of Fort Collins and actually whole Larimer County do this year to help you out?
We have drop-off points all over the city in case somebody wants to buy a toy and drop it off. We have one at Walmart. We have one at all of the Norlarcos. We have one at Colorado State University Police Department, Larimer County Sheriff's Office, Larimer County Courthouse, Fort Collins Police Department, and a number of other locations.
Okay.
Lots of places you can go.
I know I helped with gift wrapping last year. Now, when is that happening, and what do they do to sign up to help for that?
Oh goodness, that's quite a task. That starts December the 3rd, and it runs for 3 weeks right up until we deliver. What they can do is they can contact me at the Fort Collins Police Department or Jennifer Kelly at the Fort Collins Police Department, 221-6540.
Okay, and is that still going to be out at the Cloverleaf dog track again?
All the wrapping takes place at the Cloverleaf Dog Track, that's correct.
And another big popular thing for Santa Cops is your big silent auction and dinner out at Sundance.
Oh, the family country Christmas. Boy, everybody has a wonderful time there. And I even heard Santa Claus is going to come visit this year.
That's great.
So I'm looking forward to it. That's December the 8th. It starts at 5 o'clock. It's $5 to get in. Dinner starts at 6. That includes dinner, the $5 does.
And then there's music and stuff?
Music, dancing. We have a silent auction afterwards. Well, not it's a silent auction. It's a real auction. I have an auction here. It's a lot of fun. Hey, Ann, where'd Jeff go?
Who knows with all these toys around here? Oh, here he
Right here,
comes.
right here, right here. As doing boy toys. This,
We better keep you calm down here.
just doing a little extra shopping for Santa Cops.
That's good. Well, Dawn, thanks a lot for joining us and helping put in a plug for Santa Cops.
Thanks for letting me.
We wish you a good turnout this year.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this month's edition of Police Beat. We'll see you next month.
Thanks for watching.